with Professor Josh from ProfessorJosh.com, and today I'm going to recap the final 2 days of South by Southwest EDU. So as I talk about this is day 3 and 4. Really, day 4 is closing out on one session in the keynote, so I figured I'd put these two together. So day 3 is Wednesday, March 6th. Started off the morning trying to go to the session 10 hands-on tools to boost creativity in projects. As soon as I got in that room, it was jam-packed. So I tried to go over there a little earlier. Actually got to hang out in the Google Lounge again for a little bit and work on my blog and work on some social media things, some Twitter. Of course, if you want to find me on Twitter, at Professor Josh, I tweeted a lot of different things from the conference as we went along. But I tried to go to that session and it was jam-packed. It was a fire hazard. It was crazy. So I had to move on. Hopefully, I emailed Charles Woods, and hopefully I'll get actually his presentation from him so I can check those out. But I guess that room definitely needed to be larger for the crowd that was there for that one. And I think a lot of the sessions that really had the educators, not just the panels, the people talking about actually things you could use, not just talking about the ecosystem or talking about what their thoughts were on something, but say, here's some things you can use, were very popular, and I enjoyed those. So I decided to go across the hall, really talked about game-based learning. Got a little out of it, but not a lot. It was more just focused on the vendors that were there, talking about some stuff and some other things. I did get some focus on, how to get some buy-in from teachers, administrators, and things like that. Those were kind of important. The next stop, I stopped in a session called 5 Ways to Improve Employability in Higher Ed. So when I looked at that session, I thought it would be great because I'm teaching a social networking for a job search class. So I got some good ideas about how that needs to be done and some things off of that. And I got a link to the presentation. I'll make sure to tweet that out and make sure it's included with this video at the bottom too, so you're able to access that. So it was a great presentation. I wasn't able to get through the very end of it because I had an appointment, but then because I really wanted to go to the 1:30 session on new ecosystems for ed innovation. And this was important because it really talked about some critical things. One of the people there, Matt Chandler from 4.0 Schools, a great organization that's really providing educators the resources, some help, some knowledge, and the push to go into the EdTech education innovation kind of area. We talked about Startup Weekend EDU, all those kind of things happening that really are pushing the ecosystem. A great packed session, great panel, talking about what's going on, what's coming up, and what some of their thoughts are. And also they interacted a lot with the audience to kind of pitch what was going on in their own systems. So that was a really good session. But after that, I was able to cruise over to investing in educational innovation. Tom Vander Ark was there, and also Alex Hernandez. Two great people to give some great advice for those that are the VC types or those looking to invest, but also those looking for investment, those ed tech, educational innovation kind of realms, startups. So some really good ideas, answered a lot of questions for people that had in the audience. So I think that was some really good sessions where they just weren't panels talking about their company or their brand, but also this ecosystem, the things that are happening, things that are going on around them. So great things happening there. So I really enjoyed a lot of those. And then also the keynote for that day was a MOOC keynote, which was great because it had two of the premier people that really have started MOOCs and talked about where it's going, where it came from, and then some of the things that to look forward to, caution about, wonder about. It's still so new, and they even agreed it's still so new what's going on, and surprised of some of the support and things that are happening with them. So really talking about that, Andrew Ning and Anat Agnelwal was really talking about what they did with Coursera, what they did with what's going on with the different MOOCs coming out, what things are available, really, how that market is changing. So those are all happening. I did get to stop by some of the meetups too afterwards. There was 2 meetups that were going on. One was a social networking meetup, and one was actually a Canvas open learning meetup. Kind of check out those, meet some people, talk with some people from Canvas and things like that. So it was good to, be able to meet some people that had some same interest in those areas. So the last day, actually going to Thursday, looking at two sessions. So one of the sessions was really looking at how data is being used, so big data. I went to that session on that and really started looking at what's happening with this. How are we going to get this together? How are we going to get this in the hands of teachers? Make changes in the broad system perspective too. So some of those things are having Civitas Learning and other places around the country, and things that are happening behind the scenes too with those, and the importance of data and a lot of the things that are happening. And then the final session that day was Bill Gates' keynote. Bill Gates had some great kind of insight for everyone. It was definitely a packed session, the session people came to see for South by Southwest EDU. One of the things I was kind of surprised about was actually the final part of his keynote. He brought out people, CEOs of different companies in areas, and I was just kind of surprised about that because I thought he would focus more on his thoughts and trends and things he saw coming and things that are innovative and changing, and not really start asking the CEOs of other companies what they thought. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take on that keynote. So it was great conference, great overall, really neat, innovative, almost overwhelming a lot of times, trying to figure out what to do, where to go, who to meet up with, who to talk with, what companies were out there. I wish I could have got more involved with Launch EDU to talk with some more of the startups, see what's going on. So many vendors, so many people were just kind of roaming around, mingling, meeting up with people. I really wish less panel sessions and more focused on actual just learning takeaways. I think those are the keys a lot of times too. People want to go there, especially educators. They want to get something from it and be able to apply it back in their classroom, back in their school, or bring it back to their institution. See how educators use it really hands-on. So I hope I get to go back next year. I'd love to submit to present. I'd love to present some of my ideas on social media and education, some of the other things I'm doing with multimedia tools and other tools, or also just the idea of the 21st century learner, and also 21st century networking, how that has changed. Hopefully you checked out some of my sketches. They're posted on my blog too throughout the South by Southwest EDU. Please feel free to tweet me, share comments, ask me some questions and things like that, and share your thoughts. I hope to gather some other blogs that are recapping the event too and their thoughts on that. So hopefully we'll actually send some more people, I'm hoping next year, with me from Valencia, and so we can check this out. But I really enjoyed that opportunity to be able to check out this premier conference that's going to grow and go crazy, I think, and it's really innovative in what's going on. So this is Professor Josh again, and want to remind you to engage, excite, and educate. Thanks. Have a great day.